What is up, cucks and sluts? It's time for Was That in Good Taste? Tonight's episode is going to rock your balls off. And it's going to do it so hard and so quick that your brain is going to melt through your nose, back into your mouth, down your throat, through your stomach, out your ass, and down to your dirty little toes. Today's episode of Was That in Good Taste, we're talking about hyperpop and the genre and all that it entails and just what it means to be a bad bitch cunt slut whore. And with that, we're going to make our drink right here, right now in front of you so you can see how the dirty little sausage gets made.
Oh my god. So dirty.
With me, as always, is your other co-host.
Just call me James.
But I'm the one you want because I'm the one you come here for. And my name is Chandler. Thank you for joining us. And before we get started, we're going to say like, comment, and subscribe so that you can get all your little fill of all the Was That in Good Taste you could ever want in your dirty little hopeless lives.
That's Phil you want.
That's fun. That was a fun character. I need to bring her back.
I'm a little concerned about that character. Just up front, I'm a little concerned.
What's the matter?
That it reminds me of this. It reminds me of Kenny Hotz's gay character from Kenny vs. Spenny, and we all know that Kenny vs. Spenny is absolutely probably not who you'd like to imitate in 2025.
I guess if you're scared.
Unless you want to wear like a tight little
Yeah, that could work.
I wear a little mustache. I do a little accent.
I could do all of it except the accent.
I think he kind of did.
Yeah.
If you think that was homophobic, let us know in the comment section below.
Alright. We're making a cocktail for you. Live and on.
This isn't a cocktail. This is a cocktail.
We're talking about hyperpop. James, what the fuck is hyperpop?
What?
Because you introduced me to the genre, the aesthetic, the archetype of it. Around like two years, maybe 2 summers ago, and now I'm fucking with it. I don't know. I had like it just clicked. Sometimes you hear music at the wrong time, and you're like, I don't know, it's not clicking. I don't dislike it, but it just wasn't clicking with where I was at. At the time when you showed me Hyperpop, I was in my, like queer country dance hall.
Oh, yeah. Orville Peck, right?
Yeah, Orville Peck.
Orville Peck, sorry. Orville Peck.
A little bit of Sierra Farrell. A little bit of Bridge City Singers. Or Bridge City Sinners. A little something that...
I love Bridge City Sinners.
It's kind of some of that, like, folksy, but, like, kind of goth punk, but, like... It was kind of like
Symphony with the Devil.
Exactly. It's just kind of like it's a vibe. But now I'm here for the hyperpop, and I've been vibing to hyperpop so much lately. The song I've been bumping the most has been DUI by Estelle Ellen. I just
don't do that.
Don't drink and drive, but listen to the song about drinking and driving. Because it's a fun song. And also, sometimes when you rip down a hill on a longboard a couple shots deep, it can just be a real fun experience. But don't do it in, like, traffic. Don't do it. Wear protection. Wear helmet.
With our Lord and Savior Sophie. Right?
Sophie.
Please forgive me. Hyperpop is a vibe. I am a person who came to hyperpop late.
And if you're coming to it late, I'm coming to it fucking endangered.
Do you know how late I came to hyperpop? Sophie passed not that long after.
She died in 2021.
Yeah. The first time I had ever heard any hyperpop.
Do you know what happened?
No.
She fell off the balcony of a 3rd-story building trying to take a picture of the moon.
No fucking lie.
No, this is real.
That's like Liam from One Direction.
I guess this is some real shit.
Isn't that how Liam passed?
I think his was...
Except for he was on lots of drugs.
Yeah.
And Sophie would never do drugs.
And he wasn't trying to take a picture.
I knew who Sophie was only because I've been exposed to her because I listen to music. You know, I watch people who talk about music. But it didn't really click with me until I was listening to 100 Gex.
Oh, yeah.
And I was sitting there listening
That's a lot of Gex.
to 100 Gex. Because I heard there's a thing called Hyperpop. So I put on 100 Gex and I heard what sounded like punk music. Loud, crashing, distortion, anti-authoritarian, queer. I heard violence against the system.
Resistance.
And it fucking was amazing. It fucking took me to a whole new world. I became a new person. I became so new, I stopped calling myself, I would have said before, a new man. Now I'm a new person. That's how affected by Hyperpop I am. I'm waiting for you to, because I can go on forever. I gotta get to some details. I'm trying to, ooh, what the fuck is this? I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect it to turn out like that, but I love that.
Alright, so now
I spent this last summer, now that you get back to it, I spent this whole last summer on Charlie, okay? I've always been kind of a Charlie fan. I always thought Charlie was good. Before, when I talk about, like, I wasn't really into Hyperpop, I wasn't into Hyperpop, but I'd listened to Hyperpop in the past, right? You know, because that's the kind of, I like to listen to music. But in this last summer, my whole shit got elevated. Brat released, and it fucking broke me. My whole life was consumed by work. Okay, then I decided to revisit Sophie over and over again. I decided that it was the fucking summer of Sophie.
Would you say that you had kind of a Brat spring, but a Sophie summer?
I mean, I'll be honest, the summer was also
pretty Brat.
Everything was pretty
It was pretty Brat.
You know, I know she's a Zionist, but, like, you know, if you can't like a Zionist who's talking about club classics and vibing and 360, taking a 360.
So, in my research of coming up with, like, how to actually define hyperpop as a genre and as an aesthetic and as, like, a thing, an art movement, it kind of takes recognizable elements of pop culture, either music or visuals, and hyperbolizes them to a point of distortion. So, like, kind of think, like, Lisa Frank, but then, like, turned up a notch. Or, like, you have, like, your traditional kind of, like, pop music that has, like, a simple 4/4 beat and, you know, synth and, like, just all the kind of traditional elements that you come to expect. And it makes it unexpected by just turning it up. Just doing it to an extreme. And so, in honor of that, I brought a cocktail to us today that kind of takes these pop elements or these fads and tropes that we see and kind of turns them up a little bit to see, you know, if it's still ingestible as a distilled element of that pop. And so,
it's the most anti-hyperpop thing I've ever heard in my life.
I took a formula to it, and I broke it down elementally. Because I kind of feel... Alright, here's the thing. I think, like, hyperpop is punk, and it is math rock, but it's the EDM version of it. It's taking those elements of kind of hyper-intellectualizing dubstep into a craze, almost like a frenzied kind of way. And so to reflect that, what we have here is a hyperpop cocktail. And I think there's a couple elements missing that I would add under different circumstances. Gummy worms, just like a whole fucking...
The gummy shark.
The blue. A thing, like just a bunch of garnishes. A hyperpop cocktail needs so many... I almost got...
A whole pineapple.
It needs a whole pineapple.
Fuck.
It needs a whole fucking pineapple.
The empty pineapple is not in here.
Damn.
I went through the effort of hollowing out a pineapple.
And and we have an entire pineapple's worth of flesh, you can have, I actually don't like pineapple all that much, but I think I'm going to enjoy this cocktail. So what we got here is, in one of our previous episodes, we debuted Planetary pineapple-infused rum. Planetary, formerly known as Plantation. They changed the name. Good for you guys.
Good for you, definitely.
Good for you guys. And this is Stiggins Fancy Pineapple Rum, the 1824 recipe. It's original dark rum with pineapple infused.
Mm-hmm. They take the, if I remember correctly, so it says it on the back, so I'm going to say how wrong I am.
They say a lot of fucking stuff on the back.
They take it.
Victorian pineapples.
And they put it in staves again, so it's like also kind of oaked.
Yeah,
right.
They age it a little bit.
And then they put like pineapple shit and they filter it out, and there you go. It's Pineapple Plantation.
So that's the base of this cocktail. The format is a French 75. Okay. So if you take the idea of like French 75, you got gin, lemon juice, splash of simple syrup, topped with champagne. The rich bitch juice.
Mm.
Here we got, instead of gin, we do Planetary pineapple rum. Instead of lemon juice, we did pomegranate lemonade. Instead of simple syrup, we did blue curacao. And in substitution for champagne or any other sparkling wine, we did Red Bull. And that was actually at the recommendation of my bartender, Joel, who I was pitching an idea, and he goes, you should throw an energy drink in there. And I was like, oh my God, that's it. It's an energy drink. Instead of doing a champagne float, you do an energy drink float. And that sealed the deal. So with all of that, James, what do you think of our Hyperpop cocktail?
Feeling messy, that's how I'm feeling. Look, it's so funny. This fucking 100% gives me the vibe of like, you're going out to the club, right? You're out front with your friends. You don't want to spend a lot on the inside. So you get like an eighth of vodka.
Yeah.
A few plastic cups. You run to the store to grab whatever they had. They didn't have juice, right? Your friend is bringing juice.
They had like one of those blue Calypso lemonades.
They bring fucking iced tea.
Oh yeah. And of course you got the one girlie who's got the energy drink.
Or runs inside.
And it's just like, we need
Can we get a Red Bull? How much is a Red Bull? $5.
Oi.
$5.
$5
for a Red Bull at a bar.
That is
$8 even.
And you know, out of a gun, it's usually, like, out of the soda gun, it's usually not even Red Bull. It's just some sort of, like, knockoff energy.
They never do that out of a gun. What is this guy talking about? I'm sloppy today. Get out of my face. This is delicious. It's delectable. Honestly, it tastes good. I actually like the Red Bull. The Red Bull, without exaggeration, elevates it for me. You're thinking to yourself, it elevates something with rum, blue curacao, iced tea. Yes. That weird aspartame-y, sucralose aftertaste that's in this fucking reminds me of being out late, having fun with my friends, and just like getting something and like needing caffeine and maybe throwing a little bit in there. Like it's nostalgia. It's for logo. It's goth club in Manhattan at Bowery. You and your girlfriend just had an argument. Your ex is there pushing you up against the wall, and is like, and you ain't got no money, so you like can have a sip. And whatever she got was this.
Oof. That sounds like a relatable experience. I think so. Also, part of the at least one of the things that I kind of tend to find with Red Bull is it has like a subtle, almost bubblegummy kind of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is a dimension of Hyperpop, is like the bubblegum pop part that I think kind of makes it distinct from other forms of like techno that's like industrial or things that are more emo driven, or like there's kind of like a bubblegum pop element that almost reminds me of like anime closing credits of Hyperpop. I think it's the like the up-pitched vocals.
A little weird, but I actually understand what you're saying. I guess I understand what you're saying, because it has that upbeat, kind of higher pitch. The tempo is like it's like going, it's pushing, it's moving forward, it's exciting. Interesting.
Yeah, it's excited. And I feel like this is a cocktail that captures that excitement. It's sweet, it's sugar. You honestly don't even taste the alcohol. You get a little of the echo of the rum. But the rum itself is a good tasting rum. And it's like, it's electric. There's a...
You.
As I...
You. Sound like a fucking stray guy who felt like a pop.
Yeah?
It's actually so fucking funny. Because you're sitting there and you're like, it sounds like it's like bubblegummy, it's like poppy, it's like pretty good. You're like breaking this down. This is sloppy. This is fun. This is you and the fucking girls. You're having a good fucking time right now, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're having a good time, but there is that one friend who has the blue carousel.
They're a really good time.
They're like...
That friend is a great time.
It's like, well, usually we go out, we always like make a cocktail in a cup, and I got tired of drinking that, so I put a little blue curacao inside of a little tiny thing, and now,
And now it's my signature.
That'll be me. It's me. That's me. That's what I do.
Also, while we're still on the topic of the cocktail, before we start moving on to other parts of Hyperpop, I want to state it that I believe pineapple is going to be this year's thing.
You said that at last year's Tasties.
No.
Yeah. You said reluctantly that pineapple and citrus juice was very 2024.
Wow. How have I been so... Because I think what was 2024 was blackberry. I think it ended up being a berry year.
You also said that simultaneously.
You
said that pineapple and the Crown Royale.
I think that's what instigated.
Yeah, it's the Crown Royale. So pay attention. I pay attention.
But my sources have shown me that both Jim Beam, and I know Buchanan's Scotch has had pineapple for a while, but Jim Beam is doing a pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see some special drops of other, either like pineapple infused or pineapple. I feel like pineapple is going to be kind of the theme for the summer, and I'm thinking we kind of got to get ahead of the curve.
Oh no!
What
a shame!
Are we already behind the curve?
No. Well, we never did a lot of pineapple before. Shucks, we need to do more drinks with pineapple. Gosh, gee willikers.
That's right. You like pineapple.
It's because, pineapple, the fruit aside, which I understand, it gives you that pectinated thing. Pineapple is delicious.
Pickled pineapple.
You know what?
The savory drinks, and people are all like, I want a dirty martini. I want a dirty, filthy, stinky martini. I want a martini so dirty it's just taking loads to the face at a glory hole.
Before we move on, let's this little bar tangent aside. If you look at the notes, it's called the dirtiest martini.
The dirtiest.
We're gonna do the dirtiest martini. If you follow us on Instagram at Was That in Good Taste, I've been posting some of what I think is some of the most interesting cocktails and cocktail styles and techniques, and one was from some bar or distillery somewhere that was like talking about their gin, and they were like, how dirty do you like it?
Oh, they were the ones who did the olive oil fat wash?
No, that's a different one. But I want to do that as well. But that's separate.
Okay.
Because I want to revisit the fat wash.
Okay.
I want to remember in the comments, I want to revisit the fat washing because I now know what happened. I looked and then I just winged it and I put way too much fat. And so it didn't solidify correctly in the freezer. So it was way too much fat to actually solidify. So we're going to do that again. But Yeah, I saw that. I saw the dirtiest martini. Well, that's not how they had. They said how you wanted it, and I commented like a clever person. I was like, we're gonna do an episode called "The Dirtiest Martini."
How dirty do you want your martini?
That's what I'm saying. Honestly, I want to see how dirty we can get. I think we can do shot glasses.
Yeah.
And we can do scientifically proportioned different amounts
Like
of wine to martini. So we can batch a martini.
what if we get to a point where we perfectly synthesize we're able to put the dirty in the martini to such an extent where it obscures
All dirty, no martini.
all
To
dirt.
be honest, I like that.
Before we go talking about martinis and future episodes, what are we gonna call this, James? What's this? It's inspired by a French 75, but it takes so much from rum, from blue carousel, kind of a Caribbean.
This is kind of like a French 75 that's had a few too many to drink. It's feeling really comfortable out about themselves.
Yeah.
You know what this is called. You know what this is called.
Would we say it's a?
You must make me say it.
I'm gonna give a location to it, and you give a number to it.
Oh, god damn it. All right, I'll eat it.
Martinique.
A Martinique? A Martinique? Martinique?
Yeah, if we used Martinique rum, because that used to
Martinique? 69.
be that used to be a French colony, right? Martinique first.
I've played Disco Elysium, where they mention Martinique.
Or am I thinking of Mauritanian? No, that's
That's in West Africa, beneath the Sahara Desert.
oh. Damn, I used to do geography like pretty well, and then I didn't.
Yeah, he's like, you mentioned Mauritania earlier. Whoops.
Whoopsie doops.
Hyperpop. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm being a little slutty today. I'm being a little loose. I'm being a little anti-authoritative. I'm being a little queer today. Okay, I'm doing my thing. Okay, this is what we're doing today. We're doing hyperpop, and I'm fucking feeling myself. Because normally I stay in this room with the lights off on live, dancing to Charlie. Okay, so I can help myself.
Stupid horse, you just fell out of the course.
Eat, slay, repeat. Force girl, 2 eyes.
What we gotta talk about? So, hyperpop in music, as we have defined, has been like Charlie XCX, 100 Gex. One of my new favorites is Estella Allen, but it traces its elements back in pop, electronica, electro, bubblegum pop, EDM, dubstep, all of that. The idea, the base of it, is distorted maximalism. And I think we can take that idea of distorted maximalism and kind of see how it has become such a ubiquitous trend across all mediascapes that we're looking at right now, where we'll take like these certain elements that we find really resonate with the public and then just push them to the endless boundary or to the unforeseen boundary until it starts to distort it. And we're like, is this still art or is this just noise? And I think that has an interesting relationship with the way we consume art and media. And that's really at the core of what I wanted to talk about today. Because one of the examples of this that I think kind of toes this line, and I had seen a quote from a comedian that I really admire today that kind of summarized and calls back to our last episode, where art is art and entertainment is entertainment, and art can be entertaining, but art is not going, or like entertainment isn't going to art your way out of oppression. And This is, I was watching a clip from Josh Johnson's stand-up.
Oh, yeah, Josh Johnson. Yeah.
And he was talking about the criticism of Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance and how some people were saying, like, oh, he should have said more. He should have, like, made more of a statement and more of a stink. But he had an obligation to entertain the people. And there's art and there's entertainment. And I think we kind of need to distinguish the difference between those two. But also I think Hyperpop does an interesting way of mashing the two together to the point where, like, when we're confronted with certain stimuli that are almost overstimulating, we have to kind of remove ourselves and try to understand the art.
Damn, that's very interesting. Because here's the thing. We made a joke about this earlier, but obviously Hyperpop has a lot in common with like punk music, right? And grunge. It's people who also actually do know how to make music, right?
Yeah.
Pushing boundaries, using noise. But when somebody like Animal Collective does it, and they like put mics in other rooms, and they crash cymbals and break glasses, they call that like alternative and indie, right? Whereas this is the same thing, but for electronic music. And I think there's something important, because you mentioned Kendrick Lamar. And the thing about the Kendrick show, the concert, right, is that he had an obligation. I think there's a little bit different when it comes to Hyperpop. Hyperpop is political in its existence, right? And it's meant to entertain, but it's also intentionally anti-entertainment.
Yes. That's well put.
That's part of why punk music is so, like, obviously you're entertained by it and it influences you when you feel things about it. But, like, I mean, a lot of that when it comes to punk music is because we're socialized and we understand that, and culturally. But, like, you know, it's meant to be, in a way, entertainment for people, but it's anti-entertainment. Sophie can sing. Sophie can put together these things in a way which is very special, which is why Sophie is important. Which is why people like 100 Gex are important, right? Because they're not just crashing cymbals. But the noise, the destruction, the vibe, the energy, those are all anti-entertainment industry. They are entertaining, but they're targeted toward, the whole point of it is that it's anti-entertainment. Horse Girl, for an example, does like it's not quite hyperpop, but I think it's maybe on the edge. Maybe somebody says it is
electro.
You know, it's like electro dance, but it's also disconcerting. You know what I mean? There's like because Horse Girl's a horse, right? But Horse Girl was talking about how when, you know, she was making her music, people suddenly who were not in that small circle of queer people, right, who go to concerts and events and, like, you know, go to like EDM shows and stuff like that, they found her music, and that's good. But that was almost surprising, because that music is not made for those people.
It's a type of music that I liken it to Sour Warheads, the candy, where its whole point is to kind of challenge you to almost hurt yourself. Like, you remember how Juicy Drop Pops were like, how many drops can you handle? And it's like, we just made a candy that has citric acid in it, and it makes you go pucker hella hard. But, like, there was a certain kind of, like, elementary school notoriety, or, like, you got respect from how much you could handle stimuli, whether it was a sour taste or distorted grungy music, or like if you could watch the fucking video of like the car driving down the hillside and then it flashes to like a specter or like some sort of crazy monster thing, which that music video, or I'd seen a clip that was with Estella Allen talking about the DUI music, and they were like, that's kind of what it drew inspiration from, were those videos of just seeing like that kind of YouTube poop style of media where it was just so abrupt and like cut in. And then it brings me back to watching, like, remember the YouTube poop videos where it would just be like, one of my favorites was a Billy and Mandy episode that they would just cut up, and it was chopped and screwed, but like, you know, in the weirdest way possible. But it was like the Keeper of the Reaper episode of Billy and Mandy, and they would just like throw in random sound bites, and just it was weird and bizarre and nonsensical, but in its absurdity there was humor and there was expression in it.
There's something I think is really important to mention, though, which I joked about earlier, but the reality is that the difference is that, like, that kind of music existed before. We mentioned punk. We could mention different types of genres of rock and different rock bands. The difference, though, is that hyperpop is queer and femme, right? It's not explicitly femme, but it's queer. And often queer and femme, and that's something that makes it distinctly different, which is that it's not that masculinized, you know, version of that. Whereas,
which is why I'm so late to it.
I know, right? You listen to like I don't know. I can name bands. You can name all kinds of bands. You know, Clutch, like blah, blah, blah. It's like, obviously that stuff is actually boundary pushing, and it's meant to be anti-entertainment. There are whole genres that are dominated by men who make music like that, right? You know what I mean? Whereas I think that I'll use Charlie's Brat album as an example, which isn't fully hyperpop, but there's like aspects of hyperpop inside of it, like lots of influence of hyperpop. Because Charlie, of course, is a Sophie fan, as are many other people. He's a little bit less distortion, but there's a lot of juxtaposition, a lot of emotion, hyper feminine. It's leaning towards and foreign towards like queer people. That stuff is like fucking special, and it's limited, I think, to a particular audience because nobody's supposed to listen to it. Whereas most men who listen to things that are similar, they sound similar. It's still noise, right? It'll be like, it's wrong.
Disrespect yourself. Okay.
Not as fun. I think it's not as fun. I think there's like less connection there. I think like Charlie is about being in the club and having fun, but also talking about how she's getting older and wants to have kids and can only think about what it's like to be in Vienna while also doing coke. Like that, you know, it's hyper feminine, it's queer, it's pop, and it's distinct. It's distinctly feminine. Even if it's queer, it's feminine.
Well, because I think one of the key aspects is it draws on a reference pool that not only are the artists feminine, but the reference pool that it draws on, whereas like other genres of punk draw on things that were also masculine. The hyperpop draws on the things that were marketed to women and kind of does them in a hyper femme style.
Horse Girl makes fun of Horse Girl in existence, kind of makes fun, but not in a mocking way. In a way of like the girls who like wanted or had horses. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like it's interesting because I was not socialized like that, right? So like, I don't know, when I experience the music, when I read the lyrics, when I hear the stories about why the music is made, I very quickly realize that the music is accepting of me, but the music originally, in a way, was not made for me.
No.
And I actually kind of love that. Because when you listen to it, when you read the lyrics, they're talking about things and saying things, and you realize that these are distinctly most feminine experiences. It's fucking crazy. I love that shit. And I love it because honestly, you don't get a lot of that in pop music. I know you get like Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift or whatever, but I think a lot of women don't feel represented by those artists. You know what I mean? Because they're not really pushing any boundaries. I know people like, oh, Taylor Swift. Like, Sabrina Carpenter is amazing. Taylor Swift is a very talented person.
They're kind of the definition of palatable femininity, or of like what.
I'll say Taylor, less Sabrina, because Sabrina's a very open and kind of funny, and her stuff is a little sexier.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You know, she does a little, like Sabrina Carpenter does a little bit more sex. You know, not too much, but a little bit more.
it is still like a tongue-in-cheek kind of
But it's not male gazy, which I also think hyperpop is not for the male gaze. Which I think is, I mean, maybe for the male gaze, but not for the male gaze. It's not the same.
Yeah.
There's something about it where, like, you listen to it, it's dancing, it's popping. You can't really imagine hanging out with your bros doing it, right? But you can imagine being with the girls. You're standing out front, you know, and you're like, oh, we're going to pregame before we go in. We went to the bar. I didn't get drunk enough. Your friend, I got you. I went to the store. Your friend runs to the liquor store, gets a little bottle of Blue Curacao, a eighth of vodka, a little can of pineapple juice, and they're not really sure, so they get iced tea.
Damn, your friend's a bartender.
As I was saying, your friend is like...
Your friend is on it.
It's like, they use a little bit of the Blue Curacao, they throw that shit away, you know? Or maybe they use a lot because they like get some solo cups, and it's like, okay, an eighth of vodka, poorly poured between each one of your friends, the pineapple juice, the one friend at the end, you mismeasured, so you like give them a little splash. You know,
they get the brunt of it.
You get the iced tea. Is like, shit, I had iced tea in my pocket.
That's just the follow. That's the chaser.
The iced tea in there. Then you take whatever liquor it is, throw that shit on the top.
I think you're giving the girlies too much credit for like. Do you know how many times I have been at some sort of function and it's just like a flask of fucking Burnett's and something to like a C4 to chase it with?
Are they white girlies? Cause I don't know, when I go out to when I've gone out with the girlies, they be fucking like, yo. All right, I got the Hennessy, get that pineapple. You got that coconut milk? They went to the store, got coconut milk. They were like stirring that shit with a spoon.
Jesus,
I'm just saying,
we're at different events.
We're a different club. What is that fucking big club in Brooklyn? What the fuck is that? Mirage. Fucking hate that place. Don't fucking go there. God, it's so fucking crowded.
See, every time I try to go there, it just ends up disappearing and then ending up further than where I initially saw it. And I'm like, this place isn't real.
It's hard as hell to get in there a little bit. And when you get in there, it's like, yeah, you spend $10, you get in there, and it's fucking loud.
I'm honestly, I'm not a club kind of girly.
You're not a girly at all.
That's not. I do like to go to a bar to dance, but something about a club is intimidating to me, and I think it's because
unless it's a gay club,
that's even more intimidating.
No, I've seen you shake a tail feather at a gay club.
I was so nervous.
I think it's because you already watched Drag Race.
Yeah,
you watched Drag Race.
I had the camaraderie of it, but like there was still like the, I don't know, just like being in a place where like the music is so dancey, and I'm like, I don't know how my body's gonna move to this, and also my thoughts are being bombarded.
I will say that I do think one of the big things about hyperpop that's really important is like, okay, so hyperpop is like a subgenre, but the way that we consume media now, right, is dominated by subgenres, is dominated by niche.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's actually very fucking interesting, right? Because everything right now, and this also conflicts what you said earlier. So it's like, hyperpop is everything. Hyperpop is intentionally, it's like dance. All the dance. It's like EDM. It's like fucking, it's all techno wave. It's that. But it's also punk, right? And it's like you want to consume, you want music, right? I'm gonna fucking give you music. I'm gonna give you every fucking genre all in one fucking song.
And it's gonna be an entire meal in just one stick of bubblegum.
One song, you're gonna fucking consume. And the art also reflects that, because the art will say that, right? You listen to the fucking song, right? And you'll listen to it, it's ain't about going to the club. But you listen really carefully, it's about going to the club and doing so many drugs that your head explodes, right? And you ruin all your relationships, and then you go back to the club again.
Yeah. And it's kind of like there's a repetitive cycle to it that's ironic, because as you're listening to it, you're like, I'm caught in the trance, but also I am the drone in the situation.
Sophie, for example, is like making music, right? And I think like an Anthony Fantano 10 is an example, because I know that he likes Death Grips or whatever, but like I saw that he gave it a 10 and it's like, yeah, because he likes music. But a lot of Sophie's music, you can't even, as a person who is reviewing music, give that a 10 unless you really are fucking there actually for the vibes, for the music, for the experience, for the culture.
And you kind of have to have at least some context for, like, the thing that I also thought was pretty neat about Hyperpop is how self-referential it is, where, like, all of the samples and dubs are, like, usually from some other element within the Hyperpop or EDM community. And, like, if you have all of the context for that, then you can really, really enjoy the music. And even if you don't have all of the context, you can catch the vibe.
Have you ever heard of Excision? I have not. What is Excision? Is like an EDM, not electronic band, but it's like heavy and like very electronic and and there's lots of distortion and lots of noise. But it's so different than hyperpop because it's so masculine. That's actually something distinct from it. Except for the person who's going to be like, actually, you don't realize that Excision's third album of the 50 they released is... I don't fucking know that, okay? Leave me alone.
So one of the things I was kind of thinking about when we were writing notes in this episode is things beyond music and the general hyperpop genre that we could kind of classify as hyperpop. And one of the things that came to me was the Eric Andre show. I feel like that is a representation of hyperpop because it takes the pop cultural elements of your traditional late night talk show host and subverts expectations by cranking those elements up to an absurdist extreme. And like the man on the street stuff that they do, it goes to a point where it's like there isn't the regular, like, if you're watching Fallon or Kimmel or even the old like Jay Leno stuff where they're like doing man on the street interviews, there's like, oh, they're playing a little prank, but then there's the eventual catharsis of like, oh, the person found out that they're playing a prank. Eric Andre show, they just do the bit and then they leave the person confused, as far as we know. And that's the whole thing. And like a lot of Adult Swim is hyperpop.
It's also pretty self-referential because if you think about Eric Andre is really actually not referencing Fallon. It's kind of referencing Between Two Ferns.
Yeah.
It's not just because here's the thing. You mentioned the reference.
But I'd say Between Two Ferns is the punk in which hyperpop evolved from.
No, absolutely, because it's like the Colbert Report, right? And they're like, oh, they're doing a mainstream show where the guys pretend to be a different character. Let's push that and kind of stretch that to something that's like a little more malleable, but also still edgy. So then you get, of course, Between Two Ferns, like interviewing Barack Obama.
And it's like, what if our interviewer was actually kind of a dick?
Which, by the way, is also referencing like Jimmy Glick, like that. And so
subversive.
Eric Andre is referencing all of those things.
what if we had a late night show, but our host not only was maybe kind of a dick, but what if the entire show was not really rooted in a shared reality?
It also really works because they do the man on the street stuff is the elevate. I think it elevates it because some of the stuff that they wouldn't at the desk kind of shock, and sometimes it seems like a little too much noise, but then they'll do a little music between the notes. Very important. You listen to Sophie, you listen to a Charlie, you listen to a horse girl, you listen to anybody who does anything. It's the music between the notes. If you listen to Horse Girl and it's like for 15 minutes, you wouldn't like that, right? It's
There has to be something recognizable for you to grab your attention and to stay engaged in.
Eric Andre also masculine. The way that the art is presented, it's like really interesting. He has a power dynamic, right?
So is Z-Way Hyperpop?
Ooh. You know what? I think wow, that's good. Maybe not, only because she like subverts expectations, right? But it's like more just like kind of queer femme, and like less like, because I feel like the Z-Way being hyperpop would have to be like what's that drop-off show? Was a strange where they have the comedians dress up?
Oh, Interesting People.
Interesting People. I feel like Z-Way would have to be Interesting People, where it's because like she's like edgy and pushing, but it's also like real questions. But the other person's also not enough. Something has to happen in order for it to be hyperpop.
Yeah.
You know, she's just strong black woman who's like playing that line and pushing expectations, right? That's just punk. Hyperpop is beyond that, right? 100 Gex is not just loud music. It's loud music by like a trans woman. Not solely a trans woman, but it's important. You know, you're listening to it, and if you listen to it and you get it, you understand it's like music, it's pop, it's hyperpop, it's pushing, it's loud, and it has purpose.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with another one. Milk Bar, when it first opened up, was first wave hyperpop.
Christina Tosi and I have beef, right? And it's not just because of the Milk Bar cookbook, right? Hyperpop, I don't believe, will ever become pop the way Christina Tosi went pop with Milk Bar. You think, well, Charlie did start off with doing hyperpop.
No.
Right? Charlie was influenced by other people who were her peers, right? Which is why she made music that reflected that. But like, you know, she didn't. No, Christina Tosi was like barely. Come on, out here making cookies at us. Yeah. You're like a hyperpop is like you are a girl wearing a horse mask trying to get a set at a fucking bar in London. Not, you know, you're fucking actually a baker who's like kind of well known and people like you, and so you open a store. Even though, and also you name your a pie a cracked pie, which I didn't used to have a problem with, but I think that's a little weird. And also, it's just like mad butter and cinnamon. So there you go. Okay. What? Hit me more hyperpop things.
I'm trying to think. Like, I think a hyperpop food would still have to be in a food truck. Like, or is that? No, I don't think that's subversive enough. It's a pop-up.
Food has too much subversions. So like food can't be hyperpop.
Whoa, no, wait, I got it.
I got you. He looks. I got you. Hyperpop is the the fantabulous emancipation of it's Birds of Prey. The fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Oh. A fucking movie that I fucking love, and it's like hyper feminine, and like the title is long and ridiculous, and the entire movie spends the entire time subverting and being interesting, and nobody liked it except for people who fucking get it.
Sugar Factory.
Ooh, Sugar Factory.
Sugar Factory, NYC, Times Square. That's Hyperpop.
Are they still open at Times Square? I used to go to a different one.
8 a.m. to 12 a.m.
I used to go to a different one. I kind of like Sugar Factory only because I feel like Hyperpop is not $30 fucking cocktails with tons of smoke and shit. You know what I mean? Hyperpop could be that, but like it's only that if it's at a place where you're doing poppers. Popper.
I hardly knew it.
I do think that Hyperpop is because part of Hyperpop is that it's cringy a little bit, right? So you play it for people who don't get it, and not getting it is different levels, you know. But like a lot of people, most people, if you play Sophie's song, they're gonna hear it and they're gonna hear fucking noise, and then it leads into like, honestly, I think Sophie's fucking great. But like if you pick a fringe song, it's like noise, right? You play for the person, and they're like, oh, they reel.
They kind of, there's a little bit of like a, this is one of the things I wanted to talk about. Okay. One of the cool...
Talk about all the things, do it. You have 8 minutes, do it.
Points that I had was talking about the concept of supernormal stimuli.
Love that, continue.
So, when I took a class once, because I learned things.
Takes classes sometimes.
I was in a animals communications class, and it had to do with cost signaling and evolved forms of communication via signaling and the cost at which it would take to make certain signals. All of this to say, certain animals develop certain traits in order to convey their health in a way that attracts...
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy. In order to convey certain health, and then the animals that had evolved to respond to that stimuli evolved biological mechanisms to have innate reactions that had no asymptote, that had no, like, there was no point in which there were diminishing returns on the response. So,
like a growl. That's meant to be a growl, not a purr. Like a dog growling.
Exactly.
Something like a dog growling, no matter what.
Or a cat purring.
Or a cat purring.
Or a cat purring.
Woo.
There you go. That was good. An example of this being like if a seagull went to feed their chicks, the chicks would only respond to the beak of the seagull, and if that seagull had like a red spot on its beak, because the redder the spot, the more nourished the mother or the parent is, and whatever. And so scientists did an experiment where like they would take just like a pencil, a regular yellow pencil, and draw a red spot on it, and just kind of wave that over a nest of chicks, of seagull chicks, and they would respond to it more than if they did a blank pencil, or if they had like a prop seagull beak that didn't have the red spot.
Wow.
And so what they found was animals would respond to these certain stimuli regardless of how artificially obvious they were manufactured.
I love that.
And we can kind of see this in certain psychological mechanisms and even just like metabolic mechanisms. It's why humans will eat a sugar cube or like something that's super salty, because like we've evolved certain psychological and just physical mechanisms that are like, this is food and I need this to survive. And that happens on like a subconscious level. And so then you crave that, and once you know that like that thing is there to consume, you crave it in that concentration. But it's an artificial concentration of that thing. And so one of the things that's like referenced is like sexual attraction, where depending on your sexual orientation or like whatever things that you find to be erogenous things or parts of the body, if you see them artificially exaggerated, then your response to them is reciprocal, or what's the term where it's like they go with the same, correspondingly exaggerated. Hence why BBLs exist. And like
racist. I'll eat it though.
That's sorry, not why they.
No, but I get it. No,
why
no.
they are popular.
No, I get it. Why they proliferate? It's because I mean BBLs are like following, but like if you ever seen a BBL that's like not following, lots of people get those because of that.
But there's still the response to it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's like you see it, you see the dot, right? You got to mosey on to the beak.
Exactly. You taste a little sugar.
And beak. You see a little sugar.
You see a little sugar, you're gonna want to eat the whole bag.
Little BBL, gotta smush your face and god damn it, quick. You got anything else?
So if you see, or if you if you hear certain like musical riffs that somehow resonate with you, and then you turn them up and you hyperbolize them and over exaggerate them, then your brain kind of starts to crave those things. And so then you kind of develop a craving now for EDM or for hyperpop or for like you've dopamine hacked your brain.
God damn it, now it's my fault because I have so much that I can say, but we're getting to the fucking end. Oh god, we're running out of time.
But it's also why men also go through body modification things to try to appeal more to sexual partners.
We can talk about porn and porn stimuli or consuming porn. And if you want to hear that conversation, you need to hit the follow, the like, and get down to the comment section below because god damn it.
God, isn't that just a fun fact to drop?
I'm so mad because I can go on forever right now. Fuck. God damn it. Oh my god. I'm so mad. You know what's happened? That stimuli has gotten me going. Now I need more. Was that in the taste?
Is all revved up.
I'm all revved up. God. And well, I guess. Fuck. I guess that's it. God damn it. I have more to say.
You'll just
want to hear more?
Join us next week.
Just call me James.
And I've been Chandler.
If you want to hear more, you know what you can do. You can follow us right there. You can leave a comment in the comment section below. You can find us everywhere at Was That in Good Taste? And, yeah, that's it. God damn it. Goodbye.
Wait, drinking's not required.
But it is.
Recommended.
God damn it. Oh, it's too good. I'm like too excited about it. God.